Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
Single female lawyer fighting for her client, wearing sexy mini skirts and being self-reliant. Hey, I'm pretty good.
So episode 4 of She-Hulk, titled Is This Not Real Magic, starts out with Donnie Blaze. Jesus Christ. I don't even know why that was the name that was chosen. Shout out to Ghost Rider. But Donnie Blaze, not Johnny Blaze, is basically like a stage magician. His tricks are for the most part lame. So then he pulls out a sling ring and starts opening up a portal. And the whole time that this is happening, I'm kind of just wondering, where's Baron Mordo to just snatch the spine out of this dude, like he did in Doctor Strange, because that's what would happen. But that's not what's happening, because again, this show has no real regard for canon or consistency, and you'll understand more in just a moment. So after sending this poor drunken girl into into another dimension, which looks like some sort of hell dimension, of what we see of it briefly, we then shoot to Wong in Nepal. I guess he's in Kalmartaj, and the young lady is transported into his home while he's watching episodes of The Sopranos. He is trying to figure out why she's there, so he asks her some questions, and she reveals that she was at a magic show, and Wong apparently immediately knows who it was. And as this is happening, this girl also spoils the episode of Sopranos for Wong, and Wong is like upset about it. And I'm like, dude, Sopranos been done for like forever now. James Gandolfini's dead, and Sopranos been out. So yeah, you don't really get to be mad. You should have been watching it, but all right. So we cut to Jennifer as she breaks the fourth wall again, telling audiences about yet another cameo, and says that it gives the show Twitter armor, whatever that means, which I guess she's trying to say that it makes it immune from criticism, which we know is basically just wishful thinking on the writer's part, if we're being real about it. So then we get Jen's dad, who comes to improve her security after she was attacked by the Wrecking Crew. She doesn't file a police report for whatever stupid reason, but again, this is just bad writing on the part of the show yet again, because she's a Hulk, so that's not really a reason not to report people that are running around assaulting women. You have no idea as to what their real reasoning is for doing so yet. So not filing a police report is basically just enabling these unknown assailants to do it to another person who's not a Hulk. But according to her, her experience tells her that these people will never be caught, despite them being flagrantly incompetent. But all right. So she gets on, I guess, what is Marvel's version of Tinder, to set up a profile so she can get a date. And God, this show is just so bad. So she's at work, and Wong seeks out her legal counsel. He just, he don't never file an appointment. Wong ain't never seen a cell phone apparently, and he just busts open a portal and is like, yo, starts asking if she can stop Donnie Blaze from doing magic through, I guess, a form of copyright infringement or something. And then Jennifer has to explain to him that if no contracts or NDAs were signed prior to this failed magician leaving Kalmartaj, then there's nothing they can really do about it legally, as far as stopping him from doing magic, and Wong leaves in a huff. Then Jennifer makes the case that, makes a cease and desist letter, because again, that's all they can do. And she's doing this at the bar, because apparently she doesn't have an office. I don't know why they keep doing work here, but all right. So she's then annoyed, her and Nikki are now annoyed because some dude comes up, starts hitting on her at a public place, because, why wouldn't you hit on a woman that you find attractive at a public place like a bar, and, not assume that they're doing work, which makes no logical sense. But again, whatever, it's this show. We can't really expect logical consistency from it. So she's still building her profile and not really getting very much in the way of traction. And we also find out that Nikki is a lesbian in this episode. It's a very brief mention. And Nikki suggests that Jen make a dating profile as the She-Hulk as opposed to Jennifer. And that makes sense because the way that they have Tatiana Maslany looking in this particular show, she looks like a 5 at best. So, you know, I can understand that. And She-Hulk, even with her crappy CGI, is meant to be hot in this series, which she's hot normally in the comics. But again, the Shrek-like PS2 CGI doesn't do it any favors. So, Jen doesn't want to make a dating profile as the She-Hulk. She wants to date as Jennifer Walter, which kind of makes sense in a way, but is also stupid because they're both one and the same, and they don't really have a difference in how they behave or who they are. So, I mean, you know, whatever. Let's see here. Then Wong and Jen go and meet with Donnie to get him to possibly stop doing this without legal action. He refuses because, you know, there's no real legal precedent for them to stop him from doing magic. And somehow he's able to provoke Wong into like this really sophomoric style of a pissing match about magic and what's real. It's a really stupid scene. And it has Wong acting out of character, but then again, he's gonna act out of character every time he's in the show, which is really what's gonna happen with every character cameo that's in the show. They're just gonna continue acting out of character and being stupid. Like it's not really, you know, anything new at this point, because as we've already been told by the writers, the show isn't about She-Hulk, it's about the various cameos. And there's no real point to this show as of episode 4. So Jennifer goes on a bunch of really bad dates with a bunch of really strange guys. The one that lasts the longest is by some unemployed loser who isn't paying her any attention, has his face stuck in the phone the whole time. Then when the bill comes due, he, you know, it's like she thinks that there's gonna be like a rush for like to see who's gonna pick up the check, but in reality, he's just picking up his stuff so he can go and sticking her with the check, which then she gets an attitude about, even though she was gonna try to pick up the check herself anyway. But again, show makes no sense. It's like stupid Ally McBeal with superpowers, and you rarely get to see the actual superpower. So then he calls her a 6, which I thought was funny and also generous because of how they go out of their way to make her look bad in this series. So Jen and Wong are in their first court hearing, and they summon the girl as a witness who was transported by Donnie's misuse of the sling ring, which is obviously a bad idea. And then we just get more character assassination. This character coming in just as a straight party girl, calling Wong Wongers. Oh God, if I never hear that ever again, it will be too soon. What in the hell? But she proves not to really be a great witness. In fact, she strengthens the defendant's case, in this case, Donnie Blaze's case, and actually is not really helpful in this particular legal matter. But it's just, it's rough, man. I mean, this whole scene is really bad because like they're supposed to be in a courtroom, but people are, you know, they're talking over each other. There's very little order. It doesn't really ring true to the court experience, not even the court TV experience, but you know, whatever. The CGI is still bad. It doesn't seem to want to improve, and it's still inconsistent between different scenes. People, like I say, in the courtroom, Jennifer's interrupting the lawyer's interrupting her. Nobody's using the word objection or doing anything that like shows like Law and Order have already shown is how, more or less, how a court proceeding takes place. Wong calls the judge Your Highness and tries to make a really impassioned argument about the consequences of doing magic when you're not trained or sufficiently knowledgeable in how it works, and you're using it irresponsibly. The judge refuses to grant an injunction, and Madison spoils more of The Sopranos. Madison with a Y, but you don't know where it is. Jesus Christ. Jen is then chastised by Nikki about working on the weekend. Jen adds She-Hulk to her profile, gets a whole bunch of matches, and a lot of the guys are still kind of weird, but she has more chances to really talk to different guys in this. And finally finds a guy that she likes, who really just seems to be pandering to her feelings and is just straight up her ass, like as far as like, just being like super attentive, and she likes that, so whatever. Meanwhile, Donnie is continuing to send women through portals. The latest girl refuses to go into a portal, so he switches it up and summons a dove from a portal, which lays an egg, which that egg then has like a goblin in it, and it starts attacking people. Donnie tries to send it back through the portal, but it's not having it. It comes back, and then he like teleports to Wong so that Wong can then help him dispose of the goblins and send them back to their dimension, because he realizes that he fucked up. Then Wong, basically, because nobody can get a hold of Jen, he teleports into her apartment. It's also weird, during her date, to get her help as the She-Hulk to basically banish all of these demons back to their dimension. She then complains about being interrupted, complains about being a hero. She's basically the complaining Hulk. If Bruce was Savage Hulk and is now Professor Hulk, she's the whining Hulk. So then she threatens Donnie with the last remaining demon, basically saying that, she may or may not send it back to its destination unless he agrees to stop doing magic. Then she goes back to her date smelling like superheroism and demons. Even has like some of their entrails on her body. But that doesn't stop her from trying to get laid. She picks the dude up over the threshold like a damn baby, and I guess proceeds to do the deed with him. Never mind how that would work with a Hulk, but whatever. I don't even know how that's supposed to work, but it doesn't matter. The show's dumb. It doesn't follow any logic, so why should I? And so in the morning, she has transformed back into Jennifer, which is a disappointment to the gentleman that came for She-Hulk, which is kind of interesting because it is kind of a deceptive thing, because again, the profile is for She-Hulk. She is She-Hulk when the date is taking place, and then she's not. So she's now disappointed because he's disappointed that it's just regular old her. He leaves. Then there's a knock at the door. She thinks it's him coming back. It's not. It's a process server giving her a court summons because Titania, the villain from the first episode who attacked the courtroom, is suing her over breach of trademark because apparently Titania has trademarked the name She-Hulk. And so that's pretty much how this episode ends. After credit sequence is Wong and Madison watching Sopranos, talking about different drinks, and basically just making Wong the gay best friend. And that's how it ends. So this episode was honestly super lame, super pointless, and super boring. But there was very little superheroism in the whole thing, and it just wasn't awesome, if I'm being honest. We'll see what happens in episode 5, but so far it's just been one disappointing stinker after another with this show. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll get to it in the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.